Welcome back. I'm a little late today again. I was up super late, maybe 3, 4 a.m. and took a nap yesterday and I couldn't sleep, so I was up organizing my garage because I have a whole bunch of stuff from my deceased aunt's house that I need to organize and basically gonna have a big yard sale. So was going through that all night preparing. But anyways, hope you had a great night. Peace and blessings to you, and hope you're having a great day today so far, from wherever you are watching from. And thank you for being here. And as I just start out here, I like to let people kind of discover that the live is going, especially because I came so late. So just going to kind of talk and ramble on a little bit, but also want to do prayer requests in the beginning. And let me just pray for everyone. Just, dear Lord, I just want to pray for everyone today who's watching this live. I pray for blessings in their life, peace in their life. I pray for the fruits of the spirits in their love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and last but not least, self control, Lord. Dear God, whether it's mental, spiritual, physical, financial, relational, whatever the issue is in our lives today, Lord, you know what it is. And you know what's going on in the people's lives watching, Lord. Please help them. Please give them desire to ask you for help, even if they don't know you very well. If they just need help and they're desperate, Lord, give them the desire to reach out to you. In Jesus' name, amen. And I pray for anyone watching that, again, if you are having issues, struggling in your life, and let's just say you're not a Christian, you don't necessarily believe, like you're not outwardly convinced, that God is real, but maybe you're agnostic, maybe you kind of believe something is out there, but you just don't know what. Well, that's what faith is all about, and it's faith that is the starting point for connecting with God. It's different from the scientific method, right? Scientific method would say, well, heck, I don't know. I'm no expert on scientific method. But I know there's a formula, and it doesn't start with faith. Okay? So, anyways, wow, nobody's showing up today, or they're not seeing this live. Oh, well. Got quite a bit of reading today, and I'm going to do 2 chapters. We're in Nehemiah, and we're going to do chapter 3 and 4. And made the takeaway that God's work is not without hassles, because we're seeing how the returned exiles who have been blessed enough through God's promise to let them return, they've been blessed enough to be able to return and begin the work, but of course, it's just not going as smooth as butter. And this is a common thing, common theme and a common occurrence, even today, when it comes to fulfilling God's work. Like, for example, I am trying to fulfill the work that God put me on, wow, so long ago. And I've failed and failed and failed over the years to make it happen, which is to put the Bible on film. I'm a filmmaker, and that is the mission God called me, because it was media, music, movies that led me and my buddies astray when we were young. And media is very influential on people's lives. So God called me to make better media so that at least there's options. And since that time, media has not improved. It hasn't really gotten better. There are some more people that are starting to create Bible stories, like The Chosen, for example. However, in that series, they change stuff. They change a lot of key stuff. I've watched YouTube videos about what they've changed, and even about the types of actors they're using. A lot of them don't even really believe in God. or they believe in God, but they also believe in this and that. So it was very strange, including the main actor who plays Jesus. So I found that to be a little strange. Not that you have to have an actor who is even a Christian for them to be a good actor, but I personally didn't like the acting. I didn't like the acting of that actor. I didn't think he fit the role very well. Um, and it just seemed kind of corny, and I couldn't really get through it. So that's the biggest thing that I want to avoid is not creating corny stuff and not changing what the stories are. You know, I mean, at least not so drastically that it's completely altering like the meaning of things. And all right, so I still don't see anybody here watching. So it might just be me today. I think people got so used to me showing up at 11 that if I don't show up, they're like, or maybe 11's a sweet spot. Who knows? We'll see. I'm still learning this whole YouTube thing. All right, I'm just going to get started and hopefully someone will join. Okay, so chapter 3, rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. Then Eliashib, the high priest, and the other priests started to rebuild the sheep gate. They dedicated it and set up its doors, building the wall as far as the Tower of the 100, which they dedicated, and the Tower of Hananel. People from the city of Jericho worked next to them, and beyond them was Zakur, son of Imri. The fish gate was built by the sons of Hassenah. They did the whole thing, laid the beams, hung the doors, and the uh, put the bolts and bars in place. Meremoth, son of Uriah and grandson of Hakaz, repaired the next section of wall. Beside him were Meshullam, son of Berechiah and grandson of Meshezabel, and then Zadok, son of Bena. Oh, we have one person here finally. Hello. I'm just getting started. We're on Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4. Thanks for joining us. Peace to you and blessings. Okay. Who is watching too? I'm just curious. Oh, we got more people watching now. All right. Let's get this going. We're on Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4. Tell us where you're from in the comments. Wow, it took like 8 minutes for anyone to join today. Sorry, I'm a little late. All right. So moving along here. Uh, we're on chapter 3, verse 5, Nehemiah. Next were the people from Tekoa, though their leaders refused to help. The old city gate was repaired by Joiada, son of Paseah, and Meshullam, son of Bozadiah. Oh, thanks. Oh, we got more people today. All right. Yeah, nobody showed up for like the first 8 minutes, and now I see 14 people are watching. Tell us where you're from. I'm curious. And if you haven't subscribed, do us a favor. We're trying to get to 1,000. All right, Katie Kiddo, Bishop Cal. What does that mean, Bishop Cal? I don't know what you mean. Okay, verse 7. Next to them were Melatiah from Gibeon, Jadon from Meronoth, and people from Gibeon and Mizpah, the headquarters of the governor of the province west of the Euphrates River. Okay. So, all right, they had the people from over there. All right. Verse 8. Next was Uziel, son of Harhiah, a goldsmith by trade, who also worked on the wall. Beyond him was Hananiah, a manufacturer of perfumes. They left out a section of Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. Raphiah, son of Hur, the leader of half the district of Jerusalem, was next to them on the wall. Next, Jediah, son of Harumaph, repaired the wall beside his own house, and next to him was Hattush, son of Hashab, Hashabniah. Then came Malchijah, son of Harim, and Hashub, son of Pahath Moab, who repaired the tower of the ovens, in addition to another section of the wall. Shallum, son of Halohesh, section. He was the leader of the other half of the district of Jerusalem. The people from Zanoah, led by Hanan, rebuilt the valley gate, hung its doors, and installed the bolts and bars. They also repaired the 1,500 feet of wall to the dung gate. The dung gate was repaired by Malchijah, son of Rechab, the leader of of the Beth Hakram district. After rebuilding it, he hung the doors and installed the bolts and bars. Shallum, son of Kolhoza, the leader of the Mizpah district, repaired the fountain gate. He rebuilt it, roofed it, hung its doors, installed its bolts and bars. It's gonna be oh man, my film buddy is calling me. Darn. He had to call me right now. All right, I'm gonna hang up on him. All right, call him back. Okay, verse 14. The dung gate was repaired by Melchizedek. I already got that. Verse 15. Shallum, son of repaired the Mizpah gate, repaired the fountain gate. Got that. He rebuilt it, roofed it, hung its doors, and installed its bolts and bars. Then he repaired the wall of the pool of Siloam near the king's garden, and he rebuilt the wall as far as the stairs that descend from the city of David. Next to him was Nehemiah, son of Azbuk, the leader of half the district of Beth Zur. He rebuilt the wall to a place opposite the royal cemetery, as far as the water reservoir and the house of the warriors. Thanks for joining. If you're just joining, we're doing Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4 today. All right, and we're on chapter 3, verse 17. Next was a group of Levites working under the supervision of Rahum, son of Bani. Then came Hashabiah, the leader of half of the district of Keliah, who supervised the building of the wall on behalf of his own district. Next down the line were his countrymen, led by Benui, son of Henadad, the leader of the other half of the district of Keilah. Next to him, Ezer, son of Jeshua, the leader of Mizpah, repaired another section of wall opposite the armory by the buttress. Next to him was Baruch, son of Zabai, who repaired an additional section from the buttress to the door of the home of Eliashib, the high priest. Meremoth, son of Uriah and grandson of Hakkoz, rebuilt another section of wall extending from a point opposite the door of Eliashib's house to the side of the house. Then came the priests from the surrounding region. After them, Benjamin, Hashub, and Azariah, son of Maaseiah, and grandson of Ananiah, repaired the sections next to their own houses. Next, Benui, son of Henadad, who rebuilt another section of the wall from Azariah's house to the buttress and the corner. Palal, son of Uzai, carried on the work from the point opposite the buttress and the corner to the upper tower that projects from the king's house beside the court of the guard. Period. All right. Next to him were Pedaiah, son of Perosh, and the temple servants living on the hill of Ophel, who repaired the wall as far as the water gate toward the east, and the projecting tower. Then came the people of Tekoa, who repaired another section opposite the great projecting tower and over to the wall of Ophel. The priests repaired the wall up the hill from the horse gate, each one doing the section immediately opposite his own house. Next, Zadok, son of Immer, also rebuilt the wall next to his own house, and beyond him was Shemaiah, son of Shechaniah, the gatekeeper of the east gate. Next, Hananiah, son of Shelemiah, and Hanan, the sixth son of Zalaph, repaired another section, while Meshullam, son of Berechiah, rebuilt the wall next to his own house. Malchijah, one of the goldsmiths, repaired the wall as far as the housing for the temple servants and merchants, opposite the inspection gate. Then he continued as far as the upper room at the corner. The other goldsmiths and merchants repaired the wall from that corner to the sheep gate. Yeah, that chapter is a little dull, I'm not going to lie. And nobody's here watching, and it must be a reflection. Oh boy, here goes my pen. All right. All right, so chapter 4. Enemies oppose the rebuilding. Sanballat was very angry when he learned that we were rebuilding the wall. He flew into a rage and mocked the Jews, saying in front of his friends and the Samaritan army officers, "What does this bunch of poor, feeble Jews think they are doing? Do they think they can rebuild the wall in a day if they offer enough sacrifices? Look at those charred stones they are pulling out of the rubbish and using again." Tobiah the Ammonite, who was standing beside him, remarked, "That stone wall would collapse if even a fox walked along the top of it." Then I prayed, "Hear us, O our God, for we are being mocked. May their scoffing fall back on their own heads, and may they themselves become captives in a foreign land. Do not ignore their guilt. Do not blot out their sins, for they have provoked you to anger here in the presence of the builders." At last the wall was completed to half its original height around the entire city, for the people had worked very hard. But when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs, Ammonites, and Ashdodites heard that the work was going ahead and that the gaps in the wall were being repaired, they became furious. They all made plans to come and fight against Jerusalem and to bring about confusion there. But we prayed to our God and guarded the city day and night to protect ourselves. Then the people of Judah began to complain that the workers were becoming tired. There was so much rubble that to be moved that we could never get it done by ourselves. Meanwhile, our enemies were saying, "Before they know what's happening, we will swoop down on them and kill them and end their work." The Jews who lived near the enemy came and told us again and again, They will come from all directions to attack us." So I placed armed guards behind the lowest parts of the wall in the exposed areas. I stationed the people to stand guard by families, armed with swords, spears, and bows. Then, as I looked over the situation, I called together the leaders and the people and said to them, "Don't be afraid of the enemy. Remember the Lord, who is great and glorious, and fight for your friends, your families, and your homes." Our enemies heard that we knew of their plans and that God had frustrated them, we all returned to our own work on the wall. But from then on, only half my men worked, while the other half stood guard with spears, shields, bows, and coats of mail. The officers stationed themselves behind the people of Judah who were building the wall. The common laborers carried on the work with one hand supporting their load and the other hand holding a weapon. All the builders had a sword belted to their side. The trumpeters stayed with me to sound the alarm. Then I explained to the nobles and officials and all the people, "The work is very spread out, and we are widely separated from each other along the wall. When you hear the blast of the trumpet, rush to wherever it is sounding. Then our God will fight for us. We worked early and late from sunrise to sunset, and half the men were always on guard. I also told everyone living outside the walls to move into Jerusalem. That way they and their servants could go on guard duty at night as well as during the workday. During this time, none of us, not I, nor my relatives, nor my servants, nor the guards who were with me, ever took off our clothes. We carried our weapons with us at all times, even when we went for water. All right, that's the end of chapter 4, 3 and 4. So, going back through to take note of anything that stood out to me, which there wasn't much in chapter 3, just basically because, I don't know, to me it was just kind of them describing what work they were doing to the wall and where and who. But one thing I did tick here was in verse 7, it says, next to them were Melatiah from Gibeon, Jabin from Meronoth, and the people from Gibeon and Mizpah, the headquarters of the governor of the province west of the Euphrates River. Um, yeah, I, I ticked mark that because it mentioned um, that they were from the headquarters, that they were from the headquarters of the governor of the province west of the Euphrates River. So the people in this province west of the Euphrates River were trying to do everything they could to prevent this rebuilding of the wall, the temple, and Jerusalem in general. But yet it says next to them there was so and so from Gibeon, Jabin from Meronoth, and people from Gibeon and Mizpah, the headquarters of the governor. So there was people from all over, including in the territory of their enemies, that were there helping, it looks like, anyway, to build the wall, which was interesting to me. Another thing was when Nehemiah prays, because they're getting opposition from these people. The Sanballat guy, I forget where he was from, but he was from around there, nearby, and he was upset. And so he starts to mock the people, and Nehemiah prays. He says he prayed, "Hear us, O our God, for we are being mocked. May their scoffing fall back on their own heads, and may they themselves become captives in a foreign land. Do not ignore their guilt. Do not blot out their sins, for they have provoked you to anger here in the presence of the builders." So I just found it interesting the way he prayed for them to basically be punished by God. And it doesn't say that that's a sin, so I guess that's okay to do. I don't know. Have you ever prayed for someone to be punished who deserved it? I always kind of thought that was like um, asking God to put a curse kind of on someone, and so I always thought that was maybe something you had to be really careful about doing, is asking God to punish someone else. But it's it's mentioned a lot in the Bible, so it must be okay as long as that person is actually guilty and of doing something bad. Anyways, um, there was something else. I dropped my pen, so I wasn't able to mark it. Well, just noting that the fact that here they are, they're doing what God God's mission. Basically, they're rebuilding the wall, and God has blessed them. He's given them, blessings to go out and do this. He's caused the kings to be favorable. Three kings now. We have Cyrus, Darius, and now we're at Artaxerxes, and all three of them are supporting the exiles returning to their homeland, rebuilding their temple and rebuilding their nation. And yet, despite all of this miraculous blessing that God is doing, it doesn't mean that it was all smooth sailing the whole time. It literally got so bad that the the people that were near them who didn't like them were plotting against them so heavily that the Israelites had to stop. Uh, like half, it says half of the men had to stop working essentially and stand guard with weapons just in case. And then the other half that were working, still had weapons strapped to them. So it just goes to show you that, hey, just because God calls us to do something and maybe gives us some initial blessing and success in that effort, doesn't mean that it's going to be smooth sailing throughout. If you look at Abraham, when he called Abraham, like he said, leave everything, leave your family, and go to this place you've never been, and I'm going to bless you. And Abraham is faithful and does it. But that doesn't mean that it was just a straight shot to the promised land and then boom, you know, milk and honey and that's it, and parties. No, it was he had all these trials and tribulations along the way. He would find a place. Seemed great at first, then people would bother him, and then he'd have to move, and that happened a few times before he finally got to the quote unquote promised land. So, just a note for us that hey, look, not everything's going to be smooth sailing, even when God calls us to do something. Okay, well, somebody here has been watching. I don't know if it's the same person, but if it is, leave a comment because I want to know who you are and thank you personally. Um, but that's it. That's all I got for today. And so if you guys have any prayer requests or anything like that, now's the time before I sign off. I got a lot of work I got to do. And Katie Kiddo never told me what Bishop Cal is. I'm really curious what Bishop Cal is, or what it means. All right, we are pretty much done here. We just finished Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4. um, Thanks for all those who joined today. If you have any prayer requests, please let me know. If you haven't subscribed, do us a favor and help us out because we're trying to get to 1,000. And that's all I got, guys. I got to hit the gym. I got to continue preparing for my garage sale and everything else. So, all right, I'm going to sign off, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. And I'll try to be closer to 11. Thanks.